Hi, I am Anil Dias. I head the pest management service business in the group. I joined SIS in October 1st, 2011. So this is my 14th year running within the group. I think one major thing which has changed, I joined, my hair was black and now it's grey. Looking back over the last 14 years, the day I joined at that time, I have very fond memories and very vivid memories of that. And to tell you honestly, I had not heard about the SIS Group and had never thought I would join a security company, and actually was initially reluctant even to come for the interview. Previously, I had worked with the durable space, FMCG space, and then a services company of a large Indian group. But finally, I made the trip to Delhi, and my initial interview was with the CEO at that time, Mr. Uday Singh, the CEO, Mr. Rituraj, and Mr. Dheeraj, who handled the company and helped the company with many things as a consultant at that point of time. And the interview was in a small room and I was bombarded with a lot of questions. Anyway, I cleared that, got to the second round, and that was with the promoters of the joint venture from the US. And I finally agreed to join the company, if I look back, for three main reasons. I think at that time, the charisma and the enthusiasm which came from the promoter Rituraj was amazing. Number two was the guiding force and advice of Dheeraj constantly, which is even there today. And the third, of course, was the Terminix brand name, which was the number one in the world at that point of time. What do I say about the FM industry and how SIS fits into that? In fact, when I joined the group, SMC was the only company in the FM space. So Terminix SIS was the second company in that, in soft services. And it was something totally new to the group and to most all the people in the group also. And I think one of the key moments or key leaps which the group took in the FM space was the acquisition of Dusters, which came both in terms of a much higher revenue, which came with a lot of good people, and that was a stepping stone to a lot of organic growth which came through that acquisition also. And I think one thing which has really helped the whole FM piece in the group grow big is the fact that one of the pillars of the group during Vision 2025 was moving from services to solutions. And I think the FM leadership took that to heart, and today a lot of business is actually more solution oriented, more technology involved within those solutions. If I have to talk about Terminix SIS, the opportunity and the challenge at that time was to set up a business from scratch. And when I say scratch, like any other company which has to start up, right from recruitment of people to the branding, to engaging suppliers, to getting SOPs in place, going out and starting new branches, to expanding operations and revenue in those places, was something which a great opportunity, but also came with a fair bit of challenges. And one of the biggest challenges at that point of time was actually explaining what pest management is about. And this also was internally, because to many in the group who, in a homegrown security company, why has the group got into pest management? We are used to providing security to against people who where there's a threat perception and for people. And I think that time the tagline security from pest, which was below our logo, Terminix SIS, helped a deal to cover that. And I must say that the help and support of the group went a big way in actually taking care of a smaller brother within the group, so to say. The other challenge was, and also became an opportunity because finally the group moved to that, was Terminix SIS, our pest management services, was actually a true service. We weren't selling manpower. It was not a cost plus solution. It was basically an SLA based solution or service. And that's inherent to anything in pest management. And I think getting that, because many of our templates, PPTs, the way we cost our business the way the margins are totally different from what the group had seen. So that's one thing which has evolved, and I also see that the group has evolved with that, where not only revenue but margin is a far more important component for anything which we do. In terms of values, beyond the values which are often spoken about by everyone of respect, customer centricity, the involvement with people, I think two things which stand out for me are one is the pride in work. SIS has a lot of people from varied backgrounds. We are proud of the fact that we actually take a lot of people out from unemployment and get them employed, a lot of blue-collar workers. Even people at the indirect manpower level are from relatively humble backgrounds. None of the businesses are glamorous in nature, so to say. But I think one thing which stands out and which actually got highlighted by the CEO is that this is an essential service. And you see that pride of work in what everyone is aware of the fact that what they are doing is essential. It has to be done for B2B and someone got to do it, and SIS does it better than anyone else. The second is team spirit. I think this is no more evident than all our annual conferences. The type of bonding and the type of, may not have seen someone for months, but the fellowship which happens there at that point of time is extremely high. It was very evident during the whole COVID period, especially during the survival phase, where people got together helping each other, and that's something which is truly a value within the group. In fact, it helped Terminix SIS a great deal because during that period, if I recall, we lost about 60% of our business, which just fell away, all our route-based business. But it was purely through the speed of action that we actually got into disinfection services, but it would have totally failed if we didn't have the support mechanism to actually deliver our services to every nook and corner in the country. And the whole SIS network, I remember some of our technicians getting into cash vehicles to actually get to places, our technicians going to places, walking 20 odd kilometers to actually reach a place, supported by the guards out there when they were actually staying in various places. So these two values I think are extremely strong and always top of mind for me within the group. How is SIS Group different? The way I like to describe it is that group is like a mocktail or maybe a cocktail. It's a mix of various ingredients. You really don't know which ingredient actually contributes to the final output of it. Is it the people from different age brackets? Is it from people from different education backgrounds? Is it people who come from various different parts of the country? People with different work experience? Is it people at various levels who understand technology? Is it some people who are more operations oriented, some are more sales oriented? You really don't know what actually contributes to the final output, but at the end it is something which works, and the final output, like a good mocktail or cocktail, is something which is good. A message for new joinees would be that you need to respect the culture of SIS. It's something which, it's a heritage which is there for 50 years now. You may not agree with everything which actually happens, because sometimes you may come from outside where things were a little different or much different. But the spirit which you need to have is to adapt to that culture while you respect it, and also while maintaining the independence of your thought. Because to me, if the group in 50 years can evolve and adapt to various changes, I've seen it happening in my relatively short stint of 13 and a half, 14 years, how the group has changed in various ways, right from its HR policies to the way it runs its operations, to the way it's adapted to technology. So if such a large group of about 3 lakh people can change, I'm sure that you could also change and adapt to the culture which SIS has. What are few cherished memories which I have over my journey within the SIS group? I would mention two or three things. One is on a personal level. I was based in Delhi and I was out. Fitness has always been very important to me, and I was out jogging one afternoon and had an accident, almost a life-threatening accident, and was in a critical care unit there in Delhi. And while my team took care of me, but I remember that the very next morning, Rituraj was in the hospital inquiring, offering whatever help is required. I was then taken to Mumbai. I was in a hospital for 3 weeks and out of action for 3 months. And what stood in my mind was that it was not superficial quote or words, because that continued right while I was in hospital, to even all the SIS people he had entrusted that please see that everything is taken care of, and many of them became personal friends after that. So that's something which is a very fond memory in my mind. On the professional front, I think being recognized by JLL some years ago among 5,000 vendors across the FM group, where stood out not among pest management companies but also other large FM companies, and won an award for that. That's something which has a pride of place among the various things which have happened over the years. And something which would a combo of both personal and professional. I think in the initial years, when you join a promoter-driven organization, I came with my own worries. Before I reached Delhi, I had to move from Mumbai to Delhi. My family ditched me along the way because they had decided to move along with me, but then didn't like Delhi. So I was a weekend or fortnight visitor to visit my family to Mumbai. Right from searching for a place in Delhi, getting used to the whole culture there, etc. I think one guiding force throughout was Dheeraj right from those days. In fact, and this I'm sure many of the companies and people who join the group at the senior or mid-management level would endorse that. Right from catch-up meetings which used to take place, followed by some home-cooked lunch, is something which I have a very fond memory of, and actually helped the whole bonding both with people within the group and the group itself. So SIS has always been known as a large security company. It's now the largest. But then the question is that how did SIS become so big in something which is different in facility management? When I joined the group, the only company within the group which was in that space was a homegrown company called SMC. And they had started their own bit, and primarily in soft services, where manpower was provided and was more janitorial services, which is the very low end part of FM. When we started Terminix SIS, which is in pest management services, it's now clubbed under facility management, is a problem solution sort of service. That was something which is different, with a much smaller ticket size, but gives you a much higher margin. I think where SIS took a big leap forward in the facility management space was the acquisition of DTSS. That came with a lot of good people, it came with with the revenue and the margin. But I don't think that's the only reason we have become so large, because you can only buy a company, but you need to take it from there. And if you see the multiple at which the FM business has grown after those acquisitions, it has been extremely high. And I think the reason for that success is the successful integration of those companies within the SIS group, leveraging the talents of that group, cross-selling between SIS, the guarding piece and the FM piece, which happens on a regular basis, incentivizing that, motivating that to inspiring stories, having conferences with all the teams together, and forcing people to meet also through, which started off as city coordinator meets, which now actually have become an organized activity within the group. So I think all these things contribute to FM becoming really large, and moving from services to solutions has been actually the icing of it all. It started off with the whole group as part of Vision 2025, focusing on moving from services to solutions. That was one of the pillars of Vision 2025. And I think the whole FM group took that to heart and did that extremely well, because today you have the whole gamut of services within FM, soft services, hard services, and a lot of those services are backed by technology which are best in class within the whole FM space. Some of the technology which has helped the whole FM space is certain things which enable an efficient and effective delivery of operations, efficient and effective monitoring of the sales team. A few of them, right from knowing where your technician or where your housekeeping staff is what is he supposed to do for the day? What has he done that against what he was supposed to do? Adding that all up to what is the productivity at the end of the week or month. Having as per the schedules, having an output at the end of the month which you can give the customer in terms of what were you supposed to do and what has happened. These things have actually helped us create a difference in the industry. There are several things in terms of mapping the attendance to the delivery of service, to the actual e-invoice which goes to the customers, which is an end-to-end solution to customers. And this is something which customers appreciate and they're actually looking for, because this not only saves them time, it saves money, it saves the hassle of printouts and getting stuff done. It also helps an employee, because today he doesn't have to call in and say that he's present. Everything happens on an app where he marks his attendance. He doesn't have to go and manually fill up job cards. He actually can visit a site and the job card just pops up on his mobile or his tab and he knows what exactly has to happen, and that is all QR coded, which then helps an efficient delivery of service. To me, the fact that the FM has now become a large group by itself, the opportunities out there to actually grow much bigger. The focus on margins is becoming much more important. So the focus in terms of not only getting revenue but ensuring that that is profitable revenue goes right down up to the branch manager, right from the creation of the UPT to see that you deliver as per what you have planned, as per that template, and taking corrective actions if something does not work out. As we move forward in the next 5 years, I see that the focus on margins will become much higher. And if you combine that with the fact that focus of solutions which has happened in the last 5 years, that I think will become much bigger, much faster. And if you combine solutions by the nature of it, offer a better margin. So I see that in the next 5 years that the FM can grow even bigger, and hopefully there's a time when the FM business becomes bigger than the whole security part of SIS.
हमने जब शुरुआत की कैश बिजनेस में तो SIS इंडिया ही सब कुछ था. कैश वाज नॉट अ डिफरेंट एंटिटी. जितना भी कैश का बिजनेस होता था वो सब हमारी गार्डिंग की जो ब्रांचेस होती थी उनके द्वारा ही किया जाता था, और हमारे जितने भी गार्डिंग के SIS इंडिया के जो टीम मेंबर्स थे वही बिजनेस को डे टू डे ऑपरेशंस में चलाते थे, एग्जीक्यूट करते थे.